Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of PoCommunity. I'm Mike Arboyd and I'm sitting here with Jordan Morales from Smart Haven.
Hey everyone.
How's it going, man?
Good, how are you doing?
Very good. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What is Smart Haven?
Cool. So Smart Haven, we're a dealer for TELUS. We actually work mostly through door-to-door sales. You know, the people that no one really likes.
Yeah.
We focus mostly on selling security systems for TELUS.
Oh, cool. It's a tough job. I've done it before, not specifically for Smart Haven, but doing the door-to-door sales is can be pretty hard on you.
I had no idea, Mike.
I know, it was years ago. So I'm getting up there now, but when I was trying to get my cut my teeth in sales, it was definitely the door-to-door stuff. It could be very, if you're good at it, it could be very good for you, right? So, so you guys sell security for TELUS. So is it like a branched off company that they use?
So we're just a dealer for them. We actually were a dealer for ADT.
Cool.
They're the largest security company in Canada, and they just recently were acquired by TELUS about a year and a half ago.
Cool.
So it wasn't by choice to be with TELUS, but it has been great being acquired by them.
Nice. How long have you been with the company?
Only a year now. I actually worked in sales doing door-to-door is my 7th year now.
Yeah.
But I worked for another company called Vivint Smart Home.
Yeah.
And they did alarms for 5-6 years. I did it with them, and then they shut down during the pandemic. And then I was the first to jump ship over to TELUS, and everyone just kind of followed me.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know. I didn't know that Vivint was done. Because I always saw their signs around my neighborhood everywhere. So obviously that probably was you doing a really good job for them a couple of years ago or whatever.
They didn't shut down completely, just their door-to-door team shut down.
Door-to-door.
So they still have active customer service and all that.
So how long have you been doing door-to-door?
Door-to-door, this is my 7th year now.
7th year? Yeah. Oh, so yeah, that's a lot of hard work and dedication, right? So you can meet some pretty fun people.
Yeah.
I know when I was selling I was trying to do those set like gas plans, like those kind of things. And I did it for literally a couple weeks and had like old man chase me off his property. Like there's so many different things. So you probably have some stories about that.
Yeah.
You probably don't want to get into it.
I could get into it. Yes. Well, it was my first year. It wasn't with TELUS. I was working at Vivint. And I still remember I was new to it. And, when you're new to it and you don't get very many sales, you kind of like do whatever it takes to get a sale mentality. Like that's kind of what we have a lot of the time. And I knocked this door. Lovely couple answers. They're in bathrobes. And then I get in the home. I was like 20 years old at the time. I was really new to the job. Very scared of like even being a salesperson, being inside of someone's home. And I get in. It was really weird. And I'll kind of go. They took off their clothes, and I was like, "What am I doing in here? This is kind of crazy." But yeah, I won't go into detail with that. Nothing happened, obviously, right? But door-to-door sales can be kind of weird sometimes.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting into. Each knock, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Tell us about obviously the systems that you're putting in. I can tell just by I've heard you working around the space. You seem passionate about what you're doing. The product, what separates what you offer compared to other companies?
So as far as the product goes, I think smart home is a product that eventually everyone's going to have, right? If you think of a smartphone, right, everyone has it. And you look, 15 years ago when we had flip phones, people thought you'd be crazy to have a touchscreen as an iPhone, right, or a smartphone. And now everyone has it. I think the home is eventually going to be something like that. It's going to be automated, and then it's more which company is going to be, in that right position to be the company of smart home. I think it's really cool, right? We have a smartphone to connect to everything that's important in life, right? Like your friends, your family, with work, with school, and home's obviously very important for a lot of people. What's that connection from someone's smartphone to their home? And that's kind of what smart home is. That's why I really love the industry.
Yeah, it's smart because obviously there's a bunch of different smart devices that people can buy nowadays that you connect through your phone. But if you had like a stop shop that has literally powers your house, really, that's where I see the future going too. It's with like Google Chromes and Chromecasts and all the different. I'm blanking out of who all the ones I know, but it's becoming more like an every person everyday thing to use your phone to do things for you by just talking to it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you have a really, do you run the team here? Like is when the one you have them in here?
So I manage 11 different teams across
Wow.
Canada.
Wow.
We have just in the Lower Mainland we have about 5 to 6 teams,
Wow.
and then in Alberta we have another 4, 5 teams. And then in the summertime, obviously no one like knocks doors when it's winter, pouring rain, or snowing in the other parts of Canada. We mostly take advantage of the summertime when it's hot outside.
Yeah.
We'll go into different cities. So we'll have, one team going to Saskatoon, Winnipeg, Regina, Lethbridge, Calgary, Edmonton, basically all scattered across Canada.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. And so you're managing teams all around Canada. And is there a certain area that seems to be like ahead of the curve with this stuff?
I'd say I really like Alberta. Calgary is my favorite market. Again, it's dependent. Every rep has their own preference. I like Calgary just because it's been knocked a lot by other security companies that charge a lot of money, where our pricing's super competitive. So it just makes it a lot easier. TELUS is a trusted brand, right? So again, it's very easy for people to make the switch because they already have those services.
Yeah.
But I like Calgary. People are really friendly there.
Yeah.
They just like to buy things in Alberta, I feel like.
Yeah. Do you send your teams out to do it, like, or they live there and then
we send them out to do
Oh wow,
Yep.
that's dedication. Are most of them out here or what?
Most of them are from here. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I guess TELUS is Western Canadian from the beginning, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a Vancouver company, right?
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's awesome. Every time I see your team in here, like they're go.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a pretty driven job. Like it can be pretty hard to do that door to door stuff. So, do they like move on to a lot of phone sales when the winter comes too, or do you like are they doing both?
So they'll do both. We work with a lot of university students, and I think that's where our industry is very different, right? Most people in sales, they'll work year round. A lot of our representatives will work for 4 months, and they'll make pretty good money, like an annual income in those 4 months. So it gives them the opportunity to go back to school. But that being said, like when they're coming in, they they work for 4 months knocking doors, and then the other 8 months, whether they're in school or not, some of them will travel for the other 8 months. Obviously with the pandemic, it's very different.
Yeah.
And then some of them will stay at home, make phone calls and sell over the phone. Online sales is a big thing as well. But our bulk of it is the 4 month summer with door-to-door sales.
That's crazy. What made you realize that like sales was for you?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Good question though. So for me, it's I was actually studying business, and I'm from Montreal originally.
Cool.
I was studying at Concordia, and I realized I was studying business because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But the job that I had at the time was at Burger King. And I was realizing, how am I gonna what kind of skills am I gonna get from working fast food that could actually further my career? And a friend of mine approached me. He was actually living in the US, and he said, "Hey, come knock doors with me. We're selling alarm systems." I was like, "Hell no." Right? And then he's like, "Well, this is how much money I made." And he told me what he made. He made like 120 grand in 4 months.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out. I said, "Sign me up." And I didn't realize how hard it was. I couldn't get a visa to work in the US, so they sent me to Calgary, which is my favorite market. And I just wanted to get better, and I wanted to be able to communicate better. I was originally like an introvert before I went into door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be more confident. I knew that those skills from sales could be very transferable for almost anything, and I needed to learn those. So that's why I got into it.
Yeah, you say that you were an introvert. That's funny because I'm like definitely the same. It took a lot out of me to I'm doing this podcast, and like in the beginning of it, I'm not good usually with people I just met. It's not that I don't like them or anything. It's just I'm not usually myself. I've gotten a lot better at it. But yeah, door-to-door sales will definitely get you out of that comfort zone really quick. I like I said, I'm extremely introverted. That was one of the most intimidating things I ever had to do, was work that job. Picking up a phone can be hard for introverted people, not even for sales, just to pick up a phone when somebody's calling them or they have to call somebody. It could be up. They have to pump themselves up. So like, I appreciate what you guys do, because people that like stick it out You must have a pretty big turnover rate, like when people realize it's not for you.
Surprisingly, not as much. The previous 5 years with the other company, it was a little bit higher. It was a brand not a lot of people knew, and like it was harder to sell because the price was higher. But ever since we moved over to TELUS, it's been really easy because the branding is important and the price point's important as well. Turnover is high, but not as high as it usually is, I'd say.
Yeah, because I know, like when I was saying, like when I was working at door to door, my when I did my orientation, obviously they tell you how much money can be made. That's the
Yeah.
first thing they tell you, so everybody's eyes light up,
Uh-huh.
not knowing, like you said, how hard of work it can be. It's a
Uh-huh.
grind, and I bet those 4 months of the year that you guys are going hard, it's like, is it every day?
6 days a week. It's brutal.
Yeah, and you're in a market that you might not be from too, so it's
Yeah.
it's pretty much work or nothing.
And I think that's why our turnover isn't as high. So like we believe that, if we put people in a position where it's almost sink or swim, it almost forces them to do better at it. Right? When, if I was hired in Montreal and then I went out to knock in my neighborhood and someone rejected me, slammed the door in my face, screamed at me, or spit on my shoes, it would be easy to just jump on the bus and go back home. Where we put people in a position where, hey, I'm out in Calgary, I live in Vancouver. If I get rejected today, I can't do anything about it, so I have to go to work. So that's why our program works. We want to, give people the opportunity to learn, give them a good system, a good structure, and put them in a position where it forces them to get out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, and obviously it's good sales training because it like turned. You said you were introverted, it turned an introvert into like a head of a team. Like you stayed in it, and yeah, you said the money is great, but that's just pretty much like any industry that money can be made in. It's never easy. It's never easy, especially at the beginning. It might start becoming more of a like you learn things, so it becomes easier for you learn tricks and how to do things, how to word things to people, even generations. Like I guarantee you've learned how to, when you open the door and you realize like a senior compared to a young family, like the difference in how you would proceed talking to them, right?
Yeah. I love it. I love doing what I do. It's really it's a different day every day, and you meet so many different types of people, and I think that's really important for people to learn about other people, right? So,
Yeah, I think that's what the world is kind of missing right now.
yeah.
You need to learn more about like and let people kind of be themselves and learn more about each other and realize we can't all be completely the same in everything, and that's kind of where social media is at right now, right? It's very, you have to be a certain way, and if you either you're being your fraudulent self online, or you're just not posting anything, because it's pretty scary right now. But yeah, I really respect what you do, man, because you've been here for, I don't know, maybe a month or so here, and I just see your team go, and I see that you're a good role model for them. Like you just have a good work ethic, so you can tell that you have a good team working under you. Will you guys be heading out for those 4 months?
So they normally head out around like May to mid-May.
Yeah.
And then they're gone for about 4 months, and then we're back here for another 8 months. And that's when we do a lot of our trainings, recruiting meetings, just prepping for the next summer.
Yeah. So, has there, like, here, I'll talk about COVID a little bit. Like, how has that affected work? Obviously, are you still going door to door as much, or?
That's a really good question too. And I think that, with COVID, it's a touchy topic, and for a lot of people, especially like just recently, they shut down all the restaurants, right, for dining. It's very challenging for a lot of businesses. That's why I really do like the industry I'm in. It tends to be very recession proof, right? And the reason why I say that is, security alarm systems. What we've found is that on a good economy, right, like people have money, they're spending more. Bad economy, we've realized that there's more crime that's happening, and people need security systems, right? That's one thing. But when it affected door to door, it was a little easier. One of the biggest struggles we have in door to door is finding people home. So last year, it was very easy because everyone was home, right? So it just gave us more potential qualified prospects that we could talk to. When we're not knocking the door and no one's answering, everyone's answering. And then they were happier to see people because they were quarantined for so long.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, wow, social interaction for once. What are you doing here? And then, so I found people were happier. And And then obviously the hardest part was having to adapt to the restrictions, right? So as of right now, normally how we would work, we would go inside of a customer's home, design a package for them. Now we can't even enter inside the home. We have to stay far from the door. We're almost, yelling at the customer from 6 feet, right?
Yeah.
The cars are loud in the background. It's cold outside. We're letting the cold air in. So it was hard to adapt, but I feel like, we have a lot of very young representatives that adapt very well to situations, and they're just very driven. So they just kind of figure it out. Last year was our largest our year for Smart Haven. We went up almost 10 times in production that we did the previous year. So,
Well, you've been there for a year. What does that say?
I don't want to take all the credit. We have like a lot of great leaders on our team, and they've worked so hard in the last year to build their teams. Again, a lot of them came from another company that shut down in Canada. So it was really hard for them. They had to rebuild their own, teams, retrain new representatives, bring them into a completely new program. So a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But yeah, like it's ever since last year, it's grown a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the coolest technology that you guys offer that you would say is like
The coolest technology? I would say it's not that cool now, but it was cool when I went into the industry because it was very new. It was just those little doorbell cameras.
Yeah.
Right? I think everyone should just have them. I came back from the mall. I got a new MacBook, and I'm like, oh wow, I need to get one of those adapters. And I was looking at the store, it was just so expensive at the Apple store. So I ordered one off of Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And everyone orders off of Amazon now. And I think those doorbell cameras are super useful because, if you're here and then something arrives at your house, you have no idea where that package is. I've lost so many packages just because I don't have a doorbell camera.
And sometimes it's theft, sometimes it's negligence from the drivers. I know we live in a townhouse complex, how easy it is drivers putting it in the wrong units. So having those doorbell cameras or any kind of cameras that are kind of hidden because, I mean, we know that criminals, if they see it, half the time they'll just cover their face and do it anyways.
Yeah.
But when it's a little bit more hidden and it notifies people from on their phones that they can notify police or whatever, or call whatever company they're with, it's crazy. Cameras being as small as they are now is absolutely insane how high def they are. What kind of I've seen some cool things with almost like tablets that control your house. Do you guys offer? Yeah.
So every system that we give, right, it comes with all the basic security features, comes with a couple of cameras, and then we give them this, it's like an iPad for their wall. It basically is the mainframe of the whole system. The cool thing with it too is it's what encrypts all of that system as well. Hacking is a problem that we hear about a lot nowadays. So when you're buying a security system through a very credible company like ADT, you know that they have huge reputation in the industry, right? So that panel, again, it just makes it safer. And then it's all controlled through that keypad on the wall. So you could check your cameras from there. You could lock your doors, turn on and off your lights, turn on your alarm system. It could connect to, Amazon Alexa or Google Home. So all because of that one main panel, everything's fully connected. So it's kind of cool.
Nice. So what would... this might be a big question because you might have different packages you offer, but what's your most basic package that most people would sign up for?
So we have two packages. One's a basic security one. We just almost never sell it. It's just not worth it because, security systems are obsolete, right? And then we have the main package we sell. It comes with, 2 smart home devices. So you could get one smart lock or one camera, and then you get your full security covered, all your doors, windows, garage door. We give you motion detection, fire protection. Then you get that 7-inch touchscreen keypad. That ranges from $30 to $50 a month.
Oh, wow.
And the cool part is when you get those systems, you save on your home insurance, right?
Yeah.
So, sometimes you'll save up to $30, $40 just on your home insurance to get the alarm, or maybe $5 to $10. So sometimes for the customer, it's literally free for a full system. So
that's crazy because I know being someone who's rented and owned with security, paid for security in the past, it seems like technology is going up, but prices are going down when it comes to these things. If you were getting, they're gone now, but I think Alarm Force back in the day, I used to have it, and it was charging me a ridiculous amount of money, and it was barely anything. And then when you're telling me how much you guys are doing for the whole tablet system and everything, it's insane because you always hear about inflation, and it's nice that you guys are keeping it affordable, because that's
Yeah.
what will keep people using it. Like you said, it's rough. Like it could be rough on the wallets the last year and a half, whatever it's been with COVID. That
Yeah.
you guys keeping it at a good price is huge.
Mhm.
And you said your numbers are up during a time where people are even at home watching their stuff, but
Yeah.
that's amazing. What would you say to anybody like on the fence doing what you're doing? Like, what is the best advice you could give them on how to succeed doing it?
In door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first one is just commit, right? That's why I like our program. If you're gonna ever go into door-to-door sales, don't do it in your own neighborhood. Go do it somewhere far away where you can't quit, and then it almost forces you to do much better at it. The other one is surround yourself with a good team, right? One of the biggest reasons why I love doing this job so much, it's not necessarily the selling. Like, there's a lot of money made in the selling, but I love molding young individuals where, just like you were saying, with social media, there's a lot of very important things that young people don't learn nowadays, especially even how schools are ran, right?
Yeah.
They miss out on so much. And I think door-to-door sales should be taught in school for some reason, right? Because it's just, being able to learn how to deal with rejection, right? It just makes you learn how to get better. A lot of people are scared of that. And when I get to put a lot of young people at the forefront of what real rejection is, like you've experienced it, right? It's tough. It really strengthens them. It makes them feel like, oh, I can't quit now. There's still more I can do. So like, again, just surrounding yourself with, good trainers, people that are motivated, and obviously a good company to work for as well that has good values and stuff like that. Like TELUS, they have such big branding out here. They give a lot back to the community and stuff like that. So it helps us out a lot as well. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's awesome. I asked that question because I know from experience that it's extremely difficult to keep yourself like motivated doing it through rejection. Rejection, nobody likes it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nobody likes it. Some people look at it as a test and will take it and try to just improve on it. And some people will just be like, this isn't for me. So, and it's one of those things until you get that big sale or that big check, like until you see that, sometimes it's hard to be motivated.
Mhm.
But you probably saw your one friend that initially got you into $120,000 in a year, and you're just like, that motivated you to do good at this. And you probably never thought that, like, when you were in university, that you'd be like, this is what you'd want to be doing, right?
I actually dropped out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did my one summer, and it wasn't an easy summer. My first one, like it took me a long time to learn how to actually sell, and I got back home after that summer, and I didn't go back to school after.
Yeah, it's cool. School's to me, I never like shit on it, but it definitely is changing on how people learn. And I don't think school is the most reliable information anymore for how much you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
There's so many do-it-yourself driven industries now that really, if you can teach yourself as a teenager how to code or do all these different things, you might not need to go to school. And I don't like saying that as a guy with a kid, but there's a lot of prehistoric ways to our school systems.
Yeah.
And how just expensive university is for so many of my friends that went to full on, like basically 4 to 8 years in university, graduate, get their degree, go apply for careers, and they're making 15 to $20 an hour, and it's just like, what was all the school for?
Yeah.
When in reality, there's a bunch of industries that if you're a motivated person, a grade on a piece of paper isn't gonna determine whether you're good at it, right? So I don't know. I almost think in sales, outcasts and people that think outside the box are way better than those people that just literally do it one way.
Yeah.
You need to adapt on every reaction you get. So you probably definitely have become more of a people person over the last few years, right?
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Well, yeah, man. How does somebody get a hold of you to get a package? You guys got a website? Any?
Yeah. So yeah, we just go on smarthavensecurity.com. We're doing a complete new rebrand, so the smarthaven.com I think is going to be what it is next. But if anyone wants services, you just go on the TELUS website. It doesn't have to be directly through me. Like you can get good deals anywhere, kind of thing. If people are looking more for work and stuff like that, or a lot of university students that are doing school online and they don't like it, because I know that's why a lot of people came and worked with me. They were doing school online, paying the full tuition that they would have been if they were in school. So they're like, I might as well do something else until schools open up. Then we have places that people can work, right?
Yeah.
Make some good money as well and learn a lot. So
how many people do you think start off with that mentality and then just stay with it? Like with what you're doing, like you quit school, you kept going with this. How many people do you think that are in university that decide, okay, I'll try this out for a little bit, then get paid really well because they do succeed at it? How many of them stay in the industry? Is there a lot of them? Yeah.
It just depends. Like when I'm hiring people, I'm not trying to hire them for my goals. My goal is to be in it long term. It's more to give them a vehicle to, get to where they want to go quicker, right? So if they're in school and they're studying business, right, a business degree is nothing without sales skills.
Yeah.
Right. So come use this for while you're in school for 4 years, use it for 4 years in the summer, right, while you're in school for the other 8 months. And by the time you graduate, you have all these communication skills and you have something on your resume that says that you've been successful at sales, right?
Yeah.
Right. If someone wants to come in and they're just like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, right? I want to start my own business. Then I'll say, hey, come in for 1 or 2 summers, right? Learn how to sell, learn how to build your own team, learn how to manage, right? Because those are 3 very important things when you're running a business, right?
Yeah.
How to hire people, right? How to sell your products and your services, and then how to manage your time and your employees. Very important, right? So for entrepreneurs, I'll say, hey, 1 or 2 years, and then sometimes people are like, hey, I want to do this long term, right? So I think it's hard to say how long people stay with us. It just depends on what they want to do.
Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate what you do, man. Like I said, I definitely respect what you do. It's I don't think anybody, unless they try door-to-door sales, knows the real and you never know what kind of day the people on the other side of the door are having.
Yeah.
And for you to have the guts and the determination to, because you obviously, to keep going with this, you believe in your product.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. It's a lot harder if you're selling something that you don't believe in, and there's plenty of companies out there like that think, imagine selling those knives door to door or vacuum cleaners and stuff, and it's just no, you're selling something that is a necessity in today's times, and it's technologically cool too. It's something, it adds to the whole smart universe that we're going to end up living in. That it's, if you're on it now, then I can't say anything but good about what you do, man. Is there anything else you want to plug today, talk about?
Yeah. I guess I work with a lot of young people, right? If they're, wanting to be an entrepreneur, if they're wanting to start their own business or do anything that has to do with marketing or their online business, I'd say one piece of advice is get a sales job, whether it's with me, whether it's in any door-to-door, do something hard, learn how to communicate, and it'll further your business. I think it's very important. I think schools aren't teaching it enough, right? So yeah, that's what I would add. So hit me up if if anyone wants to learn more about it. I do some sales coaching on the side too for a lot of other businesses, and you can find me at Jordan Morales on Instagram, or Jordan Ray Morales on LinkedIn. So
cool. Yeah, what I'll do at the end of this, I'll put up a graphic and all your contacts. I'll do both for the company and yourself, because I definitely can tell you got a leadership skills, and definitely have a lot to offer when it comes to being a leader to people and just giving your information out, that and all the knowledge that you have in the industry. I definitely, there's certain people you can just tell, man. And I'm part owner of a co-working space. We see people working here, and you definitely are one of the ones that you just see work. But also, I think you guys have fun too.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's got to keep your teams happy, man.
Yeah.
You can't. I think we're at a good balance in the world now that it's a perfect balance of, yeah, if you're a boss, you can be strict, you can manage, and you're still the boss, but you don't have to be a prick anymore.
I agree.
It's weird. I think our generation is definitely just respecting people more. If people are working for you, you're a team. You're not like a slave driver.
No, I don't ever want to be that type of boss. So.
No. So yeah, I see your team's having fun and they're here and they're working hard. So yeah, man, I respect what you do. If you want to come on a podcast ever again, I do enjoy talking to you. So I think we'll finish this one up and we'll maybe do it again another time.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching today. This has been another edition of PoCommunity. I'm Mike Garboy. He is Jordan Morales from Smart Haven. Check out all the contacts I'll put in after this. You'll see how to contact him as well as Smart Haven. Have a good one.
Thanks, everyone.